We are live captioning our meetings. Please look in the chat window of our WebEx meeting where you will find a link. Please click on that link to open a web page with the live captioning. At this time, I'd like to call to order the agenda review meeting of the Maricopa Community College District Governing Board of December 2025. Today, we will review the agenda for the December 9th board meeting. Let the record reflect that it is 4:35 p.m. For the record, I will call a roll of the board members. Ms. Pamela Smith,
Present.
Ms. Butler,
Present.
Ms. Davis,
Present.
Dr. Narini,
Present.
Ms. Jacqueline Smith,
Present.
Ms. Sullivan,
Present.
Dr. Thor,
Present.
and myself. All board members are present. So we're going to run through the agenda, and as we've done recently, we'll kind of go through each of the sections, but that should not preclude anyone from stopping and saying, I have a question on a certain item. As you know, we'll start with our normal regular meeting items, including the call to order and reports. I believe Ms. Davis has a question, though, on one of the reports. I think it's the Faculty Executive Council report. Ms. Davis, am I correct about that?
Yes, I do have questions about that.
So, unless there are other questions on those items under the general section, I'm going to turn to Ms. Davis for her questions. Donna?
Okay, my question is, while I totally support anything that is supporting our students, and I thank the faculty group for this, for starting this foundation, I'm really just wondering how this foundation is working with our district foundation, and if this foundation is going for donors outside of the faculty, and how they're coordinating all of that, and how they're coordinating with the district foundation on scholarships and emergency assistance to students. So it's basically, how are we coordinating all of that stuff? So that's my question.
Ramona, is that yours to answer?
I think that's mine to answer, and then I might bounce it over to Eddie because he has more of a historical perspective of
Okay.
it. Excuse me, President Bittersmith and Board Member Davis. The Faculty Foundation is a 501c3 corporation, and it is designed to provide emergency grants to currently enrolled students to prevent them from dropping out mid-semester. That's really the primary goal, which is, to my way of understanding, is much different than the primary goal of the Maricopa Foundation. And it's to help with unforeseen financial emergencies. We've had a faculty foundation for as long as I can remember in the district, and I've been in the district for 30 years. It is one of the arms of the Faculty Association. We have our political arm, which is our PAC. We have our shared governance arm, which is FEC. And then, of course, we have our philanthropic arm. Primarily, the money that goes into the Faculty Foundation comes from faculty donations. Many faculty donate monthly. Others donate at the end of the year when it's January tax time. I think that we have in the past, I don't know how recently, we have had small donations from corporations or other areas, but the majority of the money comes from the faculty. And the faculty support this because it's a grassroots sort of effort. So a faculty member may have a student who comes to him or her and says, I'm going to have to drop out. I got thrown out of my apartment. I have no place to live. I've got to get a job. And the faculty member might say, well, let me get you in touch with the Faculty Foundation. Let's see if we can get you a grant to buy you some time to help you pay rent until so that you can finish up the semester. You're doing well, and we don't want you to have to drop out of school to get a job. Those kinds of things come from the faculty. So students come to faculty go to their campus reps. The campus reps then get in touch with the board members of the Faculty Foundation. And it's on any student can apply. There as long as they are a student who is currently enrolled in a Maricopa Community College class at the time. There are no regulations or restrictions on who can get emergency help and who can't. Eddie, can you fill in some more, perhaps the history?
Sure, and I think you did a great job with that. I only have a couple other things I might add, and one of them is that this distinction between sort of what the Maricopa Foundation does versus what the Faculty Foundation does was not always in place, but has been for I'm guessing about 20 years, and it's worked out really well because they're mutually supportive organizations. Nobody steps on anybody's toes since the old days, and so we're not really in competition for donors or anything like that. Since the time around 20 years ago, the Maricopa's Foundation has expanded a little bit into the emergency funding operation, but nobody sees that as being a problem. Everybody sees that as being more ways to help students. So I think that's the only other sort of historical context I would add, unless you have other questions.
Ms. Davis, does that answer your
Yes.
question?
Yes, President Bittersmith, Dr. Jenna, Ms. Goff, that totally answers my question. Thank you very much. Having worked in the nonprofit arena for the last 40 years of my life, I know that donations and not stepping on toes is very important. And that's exactly what the information that I was looking for, Dr. Jenna. So thank you for clarifying that for me. And also the fact that we have limited resources, and I just, was hoping that students that may be helped by the Faculty Association may not be in line to be helped by the District Association. That, we have limited resources and we can help students one way or the other, but maybe not both. Or maybe both if it's a necessary thing. But I was really hoping that there was a lot of communication between these two foundations to make sure that that toes aren't being stepped on. So thank you very much for that clarification.
Ms. Bittersmith, Ms. Davis, if I could just add based on those comments, I would say that there are so few bureaucratic hurdles to the Faculty Foundation's application process because we are not supported in any way by government, right? So sometimes we are the better option for a student because just the nature of their circumstances, and we can turn this around in 24 hours. The Faculty Foundation can turn this around within 24 hours if it's necessary. I mean, faculty get in the car and drive a check to somebody else. Like they really work. You should see them hustle. So that's a nice feature, and it's a nice complement and supplement to what the district foundation is able to do.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Jenna, and thank you, Ms. Davis, for the question. It's always good for us to understand how things work together. And it's always good when they are working together. Anything else on the regular meeting topic? Anybody have questions? If not, we'll move on to the consent agenda items. I would be remiss if I didn't draw your attention to item number 5 on the consent agenda, which is very exciting and as a result of great work from our team with the Diana Bruce Halley Foundation. So I'm not suggesting that anybody pull it off consent. I just wanted to bring attention to it. Are there any items on the consent agenda that anybody would want to pull off a regular agenda or has questions at the moment about? Hearing none. We have no non-consent action items, and this will truly be a short board meeting agenda. We do have our first read and information, which primarily deals with agendas for next year, as well as for the board meetings, as well as work study sessions, and those will obviously be a moving target. Any questions about any of those
Yes,
reports? Yes.
President Bittersmith.
Dr. Thor?
Yes. I observed this year that because our board meeting in December is early, that we are meeting 3 weeks in a row. The November regular meeting, this agenda review and then next Tuesday, the December meeting. And that same phenomena happens in 2026. So I'm wondering if it's necessary for us to have a December meeting, given that there's very little time for generating additional agenda items. So I think my request would be for the administration to review that if we did not have a December meeting, what kinds of delays might that cause? I'm not sure I made myself very clear, but you get the gist of it.
Linda, are you suggesting that be changed for the document that's going to be coming for us for approval next week? If there's agreement that there's not a need to do it?
Well, I mean, I assume we could always cancel a December meeting if it's on the schedule.
So that question has been raised, and I think Dr. Thor's suggestion is that we have the administration look at that. So I'm going to turn to the administrative team. Perhaps you can take a peek at that with the chancellor, and if there's agreement, we can revise this for still keep it on the consent agenda, but revise it so that we can, excuse me, on the first read agenda. I mean, revise it so we can talk about it if need be at the regular board meeting. Does that work, Dr. Thor?
That works for me.
Other questions or comments about this item?
I support Dr. Thor's suggestion.
Okay. Anything else, again, on this section of the agenda? If not, obviously we'll have a budget analysis report. I presume there's no comments or questions yet on that. Correct? And then the community linkage reports, as well as our next meeting dates. So as you can see, this is going to be, should be at least a relatively brief board meeting. I have said that before and been wrong, so I could be wrong on this one too. But are there any further questions or comments about the proposed agenda for next week's meeting? Hearing none, I believe that concludes our meeting for this afternoon. And I appreciate all of your time. Let the record reflect that the board has adjourned in record time at 4:48. Have a good rest of your evening. Thank you very much.